Kebakaran hutan dan lahan kerap menjadi ancaman bagi kelestarian alam dan pengelolaan lingkungan di Indonesia. Berbagai upaya pengendalian karhutla dilakukan oleh Kementerian Lingkungan Hidup dan Kehutanan bersama para pihak terkait, meliputi koordinasi pelaksanaan pengendalian karhutla. Koordinasi terus dilakukan untuk memperkuat sinergi para pihak yang dilakukan baik di tingkat nasional, daerah, hingga tingkat tapak. Peringatan dan deteksi dini serta penyebarluasan informasi hotspot. Monitoring hotspot dapat dipantau melalui website Sippong dengan dukungan data utama dari LAPAN, BMKG, dan NASA. Penyebarluasan informasi juga dilakukan melalui media sosial dan SMS blast. Patroli rutin dan patroli terpadu pencegahan karhutla. Patroli rutin dilakukan oleh Manggala Agni atau polisi kehutanan di desa-desa rawan karhutla. Untuk memperkuat upaya pemantauan di tingkat tapak, dilakukan patroli terpadu. Bergerak melalui pendekatan aspek pencegahan dan deteksi dini di tingkat tapak. Tim patroli terpadu terdiri dari Manggala Agni, TNI, Polri, unsur pemerintah daerah, dan masyarakat peduli api atau MPA. Sosialisasi dan kampanye penyadartahuan pencegahan karhutla. Sosialisasi dan kampanye bertujuan untuk meningkatkan penyadartahuan masyarakat. Kemudian diharapkan tumbuhnya sikap dan perilaku yang mendukung pencegahan karhutla dan pemanfaatan sumber daya alam yang ramah lingkungan. Penataan ekosistem gambut dilakukan dengan memperkuat regulasi pengelolaan kawasan gambut, penataan pengelolaan gambut, pembangunan sekat kanal, embung, sumur bor, monitoring tinggi muka air gambut, rehabilitasi, serta meningkatkan potensi ekonomi masyarakat di kawasan gambut. Pembentukan dan pembinaan masyarakat peduli api dan pelibatan masyarakat dalam pencegahan karhutla. MPA menjadi mitra aktif KLHK dalam penanganan karhutla di tingkat tapak, baik secara mandiri maupun bersama-sama Manggala Agni dan instansi terkait lainnya. Pengurangan potensi karhutla melalui pengembangan teknik penyiapan lahan tanpa bakar atau PLTB. Pemanfaatan limbah hasil pembersihan lahan menjadi produk yang berguna dan memiliki nilai ekonomi. Contohnya dengan membuat cuka kayu atau asap cair, kompos, dan briket arang. Pembentukan dan pelatihan Brigade Dal Karhutla di tingkat tapak, KPHP, KPHL, KPHK, dan unit usaha pemegang konsesi. Brigade Dal Karhutla yang dibentuk ini bertanggung jawab mulai dari pencegahan, penanggulangan, hingga penanganan pasca karhutla. Mewajibkan para pemegang izin usaha di bidang kehutanan untuk melengkapi sumber daya manusia, sarana, dan prasarana pengendalian karhutla, serta melaksanakan pengendalian karhutla yang menjadi tanggung jawabnya sesuai standar yang ditentukan. Mendukung dan terus mendorong anggaran untuk penggunaan upaya pengendalian karhutla bagi daerah. Kementerian Lingkungan Hidup dan Kehutanan mendorong agar dana bagi hasil, dana reboisasi atau DBH-DR dapat dimanfaatkan untuk pengendalian karhutla baik di tingkat provinsi maupun kabupaten yang merupakan daerah rawan kebakaran. Juga penggunaan dana desa untuk penanggulangan bencana di tingkat desa. Revitalisasi sarana dan prasarana pengendalian karhutla. Untuk menunjang kegiatan pengendalian karhutla, penguatan Sarpras terus dilakukan. Pemadaman melalui darat dan udara secara dini, serta teknologi modifikasi cuaca hujan buatan. Dalam penanganan karhutla, berbagai upaya penanggulangan dilakukan secara cepat dan tepat agar api tidak meluas. Penanganan pasca karhutla. Penanganan pasca karhutla di wilayah yang terdampak dilakukan melalui pengawasan areal bekas terbakar, inventarisasi luas kebakaran, pengumpulan bahan dan keterangan untuk keperluan penegakan hukum, dan pemulihan ekosistem melalui rehabilitasi hutan dan lahan. Penegakan hukum terhadap pelaku pembakaran hutan dan lahan. Penegakan hukum terus diupayakan untuk menimbulkan efek jera kepada para pelaku pembakaran hutan dan lahan. Upaya-upaya pencegahan terus dikedepankan agar karhutla di Indonesia terus berkurang untuk kelestarian lingkungan dan kesejahteraan masyarakat.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fourth webinar series on forest and land fire management. I hope you just enjoy watching the video from Indonesia. I would like to thank you for joining us through this Zoom meeting, and also for those who is listening to this webinar in the Knowledge Center of Climate Change, located in Block 1, Manggalawana Bhakti Building, Jakarta. A couple of days ago, we just celebrated World Environment Day, which was held on the 5th of June. The theme was Only One Earth. So have a happy World Environment Day. By celebrating this day, the United Nations hopes to raise worldwide environmental awareness and action. Speaking of global action, today we will look at the technologies and innovations that are assisting us with fire management. The discussion will be led by me, Yenni, and 5 incredible speakers from Indonesia, Thailand, and Australia. As we are aware, uncontrolled, unintentional wildfires have had an impact on our lives, resulting in human losses, economic losses, or impaired environmental quality. The questions now are how this technology and innovations have recently been produced to reduce the loss or to improve the quality of our lives. How effective are they? Are they transferable or not? This talk could pique your interest or raise your questions. Ladies and gentlemen, I also have exciting news for all participants. The organizer, the ITTO and Ministry of Environment and Forestry has offered a gift for 5 participants who have good, engaging, interesting, and thoughtful questions. During the presentation, we urge you to type your questions to the link provided in your chat box, and the winners will be announced at the end of our program. So please stay tuned here. Hopefully you will be the lucky winners. So here's the prior winner from the 3rd webinar series, which took place a few weeks ago. Congratulations to all winners. Okay, before we begin the main session, the presentation, I'd like to invite you all to turn on your camera for a picture session. So ladies and gentlemen, please turn on your cameras for a quick photo shoot. And the organizer will please help us to take some pictures to make sure that everyone will be captured on this session.
Okay, 1. 1, 2. 3. 4. Yes, finish.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So moving on to our next agenda, which is the core of the session or today webinar. I would like to invite our first speaker, Ms. Eva Famurianty. She works for the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, the Republic of Indonesia. She holds the Master Degree of Science and Bachelor of Forestry from IBB University, and also Diploma in Applied Chemistry. This is a really interesting combination between forestry and chemistry. And she also achieved some awards, including the nominee for United Nations for Public Service Award in last year, and also the second best participant at leadership training class. And most of the achievements are related to what she will present today with us. It's Sippong. Sippong is the system that created by the Indonesian government to which involve in innovation and technology. So Ms. Eva, without any further ado, the floor and the screen comes yours.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you. Today, I would like to thank to the organizer, MoEF and the ITTO to make this webinar happen. I send my best regard to all resource persons from Thailand, Australia, as well as Indonesia in this webinar. It is an honor for me to be here today, and I am going to share a brief information about the Sippong system. Here we go. Okay. Can all of you see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Make it a slideshow, please.
Okay. This is Sippong. This is a forest and land fire monitoring system. And what is the background of these systems? because in 2015, there is a several wildfire caused 2.6 million hectares of land burn. It's equivalent to 4.5 Bali Islands. And at the time, the pollutant index in endangered level, and more than 150,000 people affected to respiratory problems. And we have also economic and social impact. And there is also a transboundary haze within the ASEAN. And there is a total loss of estimation about 16 million US dollars. What make this happen? Because at the time, the forest and fire information less accurate. It make the information based on personnel reports only and not verified. And at the time, data processing is semi-manual and depends on personnel, so the response time more than 3 days. And then the limited access and haven't reached all stakeholders. And data issued by several institutions, it make the data discrepancies and create public confusion. And there's a limited human resource to monitor and control forests and land fires. What the uniqueness of Sippongi? Sippongi is like a weird or unique name. Many people ask me, what is this? Sippongi is come from Pongo pygmeus. It's the Latin name of orangutan. We have a commitment for managing the wildfire because at the time in period in 1997 and 1998, there's orangutan habitat was destroyed by wildfires. And then the second, we are the first dual interface fire monitoring system in Indonesia. We have the public interface and we have the internal interface. And we are the first system that integrated satellite data and field data from CCTV thermal and ground checking data. And we also collaboration with many stakeholders in Indonesia. This is for legal standing guide by the One Map One policy data in Indonesia. And we also have keyword filter such as Karhutla, Fire, Manggala Agni, and etc. for fast tracking of fire indication in social media. And we also have SMS blast for hotspot and early warning that reach all over city in Indonesia. What is the impact of Sippongi? Of course, it's increased collaboration between stakeholders and also increased community resilience for disaster. And increased response time from 3 days to 1 day. This is one of the efforts to minimize the destruction of Indonesia's forests, which support more than 25,000 villages in around forests, equivalent to 9 million households. And because of the 0.3, we can decrease, it contributed to the reducing burn area up to 86%. And because of that, of course, it contributed to decreasing of Indonesian GHG with prevention effort. Okay. In this slide, I would to tell you about our development of Sippongi fire monitoring system. We already managed to develop the fire monitoring system about 25 years. In the upper levels is the early level of our development since 1997. From only with one satellite, we would have a ground station in Bogor and Jakarta, and we only disseminate with radio, fax, and email. And in 2002, we disseminate with radio, fax, email, and we have also a mailing list, Sipong Yahoo group. In 2006, we have the X-band rooftop dome, and we relayed the Terra Aqua hotspot. And in 2009 and 2011, we have a joint collaboration with Indonesia and Australia through indofire.org. There's Dr. Matthew Adam here from the Landgate. Okay, in 2015, we relaunched the Sippongi, actually maybe in March 2015. And it's fully automatic and dual interface. And the satellite is NOAA only, and we already connected with social media like Facebook and Twitter. In 2017, we integration Sippongi and KMS because there is integration between institutions in Indonesia. The hotspot, we add some hotspot like NOAA, NPP, and Terra Aqua. And we make a cluster hotspot, the recommendation for ground checking, and we update it every 30 minutes. And we also have SMS blast for hotspot only. And we also add social media like Instagram and YouTube. In 2019, we add some Landsat hotspot from LAPAN and NASA. And we also develop our mobile apps in Android. And we also have the cooperation with Ministry of Communication for disaster SMS blast. And we also launch online-based reporting for private sector. In 2020, we refresh our dashboard and add ground checking direction on mobile app. And in 2021, we changed to Sippong Plus, and we add some weather forecast, with water level, user analytics, the up location, and etc. And at this time, we also launched our mobile apps in iOS. And in 2022, we refresh our dashboard and we add some SHP automatic, and we add online-based report from ground checking and suppression. Okay, sorry. Okay, what is Sippong? So this is the Sippong in public interface. We have so many data. This is the home. As you can see, we have data and information like hotspot, wind direction, pollutant index, speed, water level, the UPS location, burn area and emission, regulation, news, user analytics, private sector reporting, and etc. For the private sector online reporting, we need the registration from the private sector. And for the fire danger system, we are collaborating with Indonesia Meteorological Bureau. Okay, and this is the Sippong internal interface. This is only for internal Ministry of Environment and Forestry. And of course, registration needed. We can overlay map with many functions, ground checking and suppression reporting, and hotspot based on land cover and automatic SHP, CCTV thermal data from 15 locations in Indonesia. We call it the Sippong kitchen because we have 9 leveling user, admin, operator, and user in national level, regional level, and provincial level. We manage the data information in Sippong public. We can switch the resource hotspot, LAPAN or NASA, and we can instant reporting from all of data in internal interface. We can manage early warning SMS blast and data stockcasting and many more. Okay, and this is our Sippong mobile apps. You can download it at Google Play Store or App Store. So basically, it have the same data and information with Sippong Web, but we also have this ground checking and suppression reporting for personnel only. You need to input your username or email and password to access this. And this is, you can choose whether you want to report or you want to report the ground checking or you want to report the suppression. Okay, how about Sippong today? Today, we still improving, adapting the monitoring system, automation, integration of the data, and we need to wider access and change in satellite and technology, and of course, network security. And then we also data custodian of forest and fire in Indonesia. It's a legal standing of one map on one data policy. And the Sippong system is the monitoring system with the widest access in Indonesia. All over Indonesia, 512 districts all over Indonesia, included non-internet area reached by SMS blast. And the recognition, we already accessed, but more than 1 million users in the web only, And we also have the visitation, comparative study, research, and cooperation offer from other institutions. Last week, there is a Google Indonesia that offer us to cooperate with them. And then we also have award top 1999 and top 45 in 2019. And we also have award top 15 special group in 2021 in Innovator Award, and also nominee of UNPSA. This is some award that we have. Okay, how about the efficiency? We are with the system, we can make the efficient in time and resource, because it's automatically updated every 30 minutes, more efficient on human resource. It's compact, handy, and time saving. And this we always system do the revitalization system and hardware. And during the COVID pandemic, we implementation of efficiency in COVID-19 pandemic, because the budget refocusing to handling COVID-19. So we need to optimization of operational, change base map from paid to the free, and we have the personal picket rescheduling, and we have the implemented safety procedure and combined forest and then fire campaign with COVID-19 through social media. What we can, what lesson learned we can take from our system? One is the monitoring system can accelerate field response from 3 days to 1 day. It may vary depending on country condition or local condition. Fast response can increase efficiency in handling forest and land fire. Coordination increase and burn area will decrease. Managing the fire monitoring system requires patience, creativity, and continuity. And development of monitoring system must follow trends and latest technology. And the last and but not least is the commitment of the leadership should support stability of institution and also financing determine the sustainability of the system. So it's not a one-man show. It's the team working group, so the system can be successful. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ms. Eva is really sharp. Well, actually, you still have 2 minutes left. So I don't want to conclude a lot, because Ms. Eva has already told us the 25 years of development of the system they call Sippong, and they've got a recognition, really lots of recognitions. And she also mentioned the Sippong kitchen. I can imagine there are lots of going on behind the scene. You probably, the user, can just only see the information, or probably some of you are complaining of the data probably missing or whatever, but knows now that lots of people are working behind the scene. And I also noted that the collaboration is also the key of the success of the Sippong system. So next speaker, I would like to invite Mr. Sigit. Mr. Sigit Pramono from Jakarta Technology Institute. So Mr. Sigit from Indonesia, he holds his master degree of electrical engineering and also Bachelor of Electrical Engineering. He come up with some innovations, including smart poultry, seafood agro-tech. And one of them, I believe, he will present it to us. And all of the innovations absolutely will link to the intellectual property rights. So without further ado, Mr. Sigit, the floor, the experience now is yours.
salah ini salah ini.
While we're waiting for Mr. Sigit, just to remind all participants, there is a link for you who want to raise some questions, and then the organizer will collect the best 5 participants who raised the good questions, intriguing questions. Mr. Sigit, are you ready? Okay, so now we can see your PowerPoint. Please proceed. Please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the time. First of all, I would like to thanks to the respected committee for allowing me to share about the technology and innovation in supporting fire management. It's my honor to be here. This forest fire detection system is the innovative result of the collaboration between the Institut Teknologi Telkom Purwokerto and the Internet of Things division of Telkom Indonesia. Before I start the presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Sigit Pramono. I'm a lecturer and the head of the Innovation Center in Institut Teknologi Telkom Purwokerto. And I also a founder of startup of agrotech, which focus on the developing the Internet of Things in agriculture and environment. For your information, I got a bachelor in electrical engineering. For information, I got a bachelor engineering from Universitas Islam Indonesia, and then I continue my study in Universitas Indonesia for my master degree on telecommunication engineering. You can call me on share email. This is my number, and this my email. Oh.
Mr. Sigit, do you want us to help you with the PowerPoint? We can help for sure.
When we talk about the forest fire, we never forget about the air pollution issue. For example, in 2015, Malaysia and Singapore had bad haze, which came from forest fire in Indonesia. According to the World Bank, the extreme weather condition because El Nino can increase the temperature of the sea in the Southern Ocean. The phenomenon happened again in early 2016. And then air pollution leads to several diseases and estimate 3 million deaths per year. It's because allergic conjunctivitis, allergic rhinitis, asthma, stroke, heart disease, lung cancer, and chronic respiration disease. Furthermore, we also found the other issues with the real-time monitoring. The real-time telemonitoring using tower had several weaknesses, such as the officer has come to the tower and used binocular for monitoring. There is no data record and detailed information. The cost is high. The implementation real-time monitoring for forest fire prevention has challenges like the limited power source and the internet network for connectivity to the server. Sihutla Forest Fire Detection System is a forest and land fire monitoring system based on the Internet of Things and can be implemented to prevent forest and land fire by detecting potential fire hotspots early. The function of sensor device is a reading 9 environment data with solar panel as the power source. Data communication between Sihutla device and LoRa gateway use the LoRa network because this network has low power, long range up to 100 km and include the unlicensed band. LoRa network server enable connectivity, management and monitoring end user devices, gateways, and application. Its main objective to ensure the security, scalability, and reliability of data routing across the network. As you can see, Sihutla has a full feature and integrated system. Wind direction sensor, wind speed sensor, rainfall sensor, multi-sensor, and it contains air temperature sensor, air humidity, air pressure, light intensity, CO2 gas, and smoke intensity. Soil temperature sensor for monitoring temperature changes. The system uses a lithium battery as the power supply and can be charged with solar panel. And also, it has a panic button to emergency. Sihutla has 3 advances compared to the other product. For example, the monitoring system is carried out remotely. The monitoring, the cost is low, and it presents 9 sensor parameters in real time for analytical and predictive data. I believe that all stakeholders have a noble goal, such as preventing monitoring forest fire. We must collaborate and complement each other to be more effective in environment conservation. As we will know, Institut Telkom Purwokerto developed the sensor device and the real-time monitoring, while Telkom Indonesia provides LoRaWAN network and internet backbone. And Sippong or BRGM perform data analysis. Sihutla is ready to synergize with related parties by maximizing the Institut Telkom Purwokerto and Telkom Indonesia resource. Thanks all for the presentation. Thank you your attention. I give back the time to the moderator and good afternoon.
Thanks, Mr. Sigit, for interesting presentation. He offered a system, a so-called Sihutla. It's a forest fire detection system. He also raised our awareness on the need to have a real-time monitoring with low cost, yet able to do it remotely. But probably the next question is, more interesting, perhaps to hear more from him, how this technology could be applied in Indonesia, or is there any requirement to get an optimum monitoring at any site? So just raise your question, type your question on the link that provided in the chat box. The next speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Matthew Adams. He's from Landgate. Wait a minute, let me pull out. Okay. Let me read his short profile. So Dr. Matthew Adams is the Director of Earth Observation within Location Services at Landgate, Australia. The Earth Observation branch at Landgate is responsible for the delivery of aerial photography and satellite imagery to support a wide array of government and community services, including high-resolution mapping in cities and town sites, and the provision of satellite-derived data and information systems for agriculture or natural resources uses, as well as emergency management systems. Among the latter, there is an Aurora, Western Australia's endorsed bushfire spread simulator that combines the latest satellite and weather information with the latest fire spread models to assist emergency services with active fire management. I'm not sure if he will talk about the Aurora but anyway, Dr. Adams, the floor is now yours.
Thank you very much, Yenni. First off, I need to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from the traditional lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people. And it's very pleasant to catch up with some old friends from the engagement that we had between 2009 and 2011. Let me get my one firing off. Okay, so when we came to, Landgate came to Indonesia back as far as 2006, we had a program running called Firewatch. Firewatch has been running for 30 years now. Started in probably late 1980s, because fire is very important, particularly in the northern part of Western Australia. It supports bushfire management across Australia. And we use near real-time satellite observation and geotechnologies to map, monitor, and actually predict bushfires. Underpinning particularly the prediction side is integrating key data sets that are important for fire spread within Western Australia, particularly how dry it actually is, whether it's going to rain or not. And the key one is actually the time since the fuel last burn. So we have a variety of vegetation across the country, ranging from grasslands to tropical forests. Since we last worked with Indonesia, we added Aurora, which provided the fire spread prediction capability to Firewatch based on satellite imagery to predict fire behavior and potential impact. That's been endorsed by our state authorities as the fire simulation tool for the state of Western Australia. Why is it important? Over the past 30 years, this is a map of all the places in Australia that have actually been mapped as having burnt. The southeast corner around the ACT, Australian Capital Territory, and Sydney, a lot of that was just burned a couple of years ago. In the northern part of Australia, where it's really quite red, particularly when you get into the tropics or above the Tropic of Capricorn, many of those areas will burn every year and sometimes twice a year, just associated with the rainfall events. As a broad indicator, we burned about, on average, from 1997 to 2019, about 52 million hectares is burned each year, mostly in uncontrolled fires, and most of that comes from the Northern Territory. What's a bit unique is in the 2019-2020, when there was a black summer of bushfires, a couple of states actually significantly increased by an order of magnitude. So New South Wales, 213,000 is what their average is. They burnt 4.6 million hectares. In Victoria, it was 177,000 going to 1.4 million. And the interesting thing that I noticed on when I looked at these statistics is that the traditional areas that tend to burn more on average burned less. The Northern Territory was only burned 10 million instead of 22 million, and Western Australia only burned 9 million instead of 19 million. Obviously an indicator of the very unusual weather system that had occurred over that particular summer. I got some lovely videos of that particular as the fire developed. They started in southeast Queensland, and you could watch the fires just sort of move down week by week until they reached their maximum just after New Year on 2020. In terms of the context on where do we get data, since about in 2017, the Australian governments came together and created ANGST. And ANGST is actually, we were very deliberate with that because we were very trepidatious or very anxious about whether this would work. But it does translate into the Australian National Ground Segment Technical Team. The website address is there, so it is open to the public. And it's really aimed at trying to coordinate satellite capture over the entire Australian continent and into Indonesia as well through a network of satellite receiving stations. And these are shown on this particular map, including the dark blue outlines, which is the extent of what they can receive. The Shoal Bay and Darwin is basically all, Shoal 3, the polar orbiting satellites, just like the ones received by Sippong, are referred to as Tier 3 stations in this diagram. And so you have Shoal Bay and Darwin, Learmonth, Murdoch here in Perth, Alice Springs, Crib Point, Hobart, and the dish out at Ames, all being Tier 3 receiving stations. The Bureau of Meteorology runs the vast majority of those, with a couple of historical dishes contributing as well. The Tier 1 site listed in Alice Springs is used to receive Landsat data as well. The Murdoch station down here in Perth receives many of the satellites you'd expect. The motor sensors off of Terra and Aqua, Swami MPP, the NOAA 18 and NOAA 19. We also receive MEDOP Bs and C because they have an AVHRR instrument on them, similar to NOAA 18 and NOAA 19, and JPSS 1, which is about 20 minutes behind, it's also known as NOAA 20. We have the only Western Australia, the Murdoch dish and Alice Springs can receive Fenyong 3D and 3E stations or data. And we're in the process of actually upgrading it, upgrading our dish here in Perth to ensure that we can capture the Fenyong 3 series, particularly as Terra is getting very old, having been launched in 1999. We also have plans to capture MEDOP 2nd generation and JPSS 2. Should this presentation be released to all the participants, those are all clickable links that will take you to the relevant website to tell you more. Landgate is also part of something called the Copernicus Australasia Regional Data Hub. That hub actually captures or takes a copy of the data from those 5 Sentinel satellites. And we cover about 1/8 of the world's surface. So we go from as far south as Antarctica up into Southeast Asia. The listing of the different Sentinel satellites is there. So, and there are planned to be generally 2 satellites per number. So there's normally would there be 2 Sentinel-1 C-band radar satellites, but one of them is malfunctioned. Its replacement is due up in 2023. There's Sentinel-2, which is sort of like Landsat. Sentinel-3 is sort of like an Aqua or Terra with some additional interesting instruments on it. Sentinel-5 is actually an atmospheric sounder, so it's more around atmospheric quality. And Sentinel-6 was recently launched, and it's really replacing Jason as a sea surface height. So more around oceanography and climate rather than maybe fire. But the Copernicus Australasia Regional Data Hub does actually sync all of that data into a storage facility at the National Computing Infrastructure. You can find more information at copernicus.gov.au. In Landgate, we actually manage the synchronization of all that data for Western Australia, South Australia, and Southeast Asia into the supercomputing center here in Western Australia called POSI. And that's just so that we can get the data closer to the compute. We also have data agreements in place with the Bureau to source Himawari 8 Himawari 8 satellite data, as well as gridded forecast weather from the Bureau of Meteorology, which we need to support simulations. We also get a bit of lightning strikes. So that's a Himawari 8 image there with lightning that we get from a company in the United States, because lightning is an important source of starting fires, particularly in the north. Since we actually engaged with Indonesia in 2009, when we were doing about 20 gigabytes per day of processing, when we started downloading Himawari 8, we did a big jump from 2014 to 2019. And then as we started processing operationally Sentinel 3 data, we've increased it again. So we actually processing about 170 gigabytes of raw data every day. And that does include Sentinel 2 as well as Landsat data. All of our systems are available through firewatch.landgate.wa.gov.au. This is more on the delivery side. So some of the new things that I've seen with Sippong that Eva presented earlier. And we've got 4 different types of applications. We start with My Firewatch, which is designed for a phone. You can see we do pick up a little bit of Indonesia in there. That is really designed for simple needs. It just has a few layers. It was actually built in consultation with the community of Kananara in the very northern part of the state, and is designed for anyone to use. For those with more complex information needs or wants, we have our standard we call it Firewatch Pro. Gives you a whole lot of additional information, including the ability to see contextual satellite imagery from the various sources and look at different satellite fire hotspot sources as well. Where My Firewatch will not put Himawari 8 fire hotspots on, you can get to the Himawari 8 fire hotspots on Firewatch Pro. Our most complex system is called Aurora, and that actually does fire simulations. So in this particular diagram, there's a little red diamond sitting there on the upper right of the image there. That's a fire near Perth. And then we take the weather data, elevation data, and the vegetation data, and we simulate where that fire is going to go over the next 24 hours based on the predicted weather. And it wraps around that dark area. That's a Sentinel 2 fire enhanced image, because that area is already burnt. So it's not going to tend to burn into that particular area. The colors and the polygons there are isochrons. So 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, and that's so people can sort of see the map data underneath it. The more intense the color, so the more intense the blue, the sooner it is after the ignition point. To help support the volunteer firefighters, particularly around fire simulation movement, we have the fire behavior calculator, which basically is designed for whatever forest spread model you want to, or fire spread model you want to use, what the weather is. It'll give you an estimate of what the fire spread is going to be at a specific point. So Firewatch Aurora is around spreading the fire in time and space, whereas this one is really just 1 point. Fire behavior calculator around 1 point and how fast the fire going to spread, and look at some sensitivity analysis if there's changes to wind speed or wind direction in a more easily used format. This is actually available to anyone. Unfortunately, Firewatch Aurora, because we have very dry, hot, and windy summers here, is restricted to emergency services agencies only. And that really comes from the fact that you could actually, if you're an arsonist, plan where you can have the most destructive impact in starting a fire by using that particular system. So from those applications, we move from the less complex to the more complex. And we move from mapping to monitoring and to predicting. Now I'll go through these very quickly. This is a we had a very significant fire event here in 2021 that started near Perth, about 26 km from where I'm standing now, and resulted in the loss of about 90 houses, but no deaths, luckily. This is sort of the location. I'm coming down here from Midland on the southwest. Perth is a little bit further west on this map. The fire will start on the far east. That is actually a Himawari 8 image showing that there's nothing happened. And then we picked up a fire hotspot and it's warm. So you got to remember that the fire hotspots on Himawari 8 are 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers for 4. So that's a 4 square kilometer, already an 8 square kilometer fire. If we look a little bit later, that fire started about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So if we pick up the next aqua pass, you can start seeing it's the red and you start seeing the smoke. And that's the predicted fire spread over the next 24 hours. We have all those points there because there's a lot of information attached to the points. Fire spread, fire intensity in particular, because fire intensity determines what you can actually treat the fire with. Once it goes above 8,000 kilowatt meters, you can't use water. So you can see underneath those points, we have those isochrons I showed you before. And then there's the Himawari 8 fire hotspots, the very white imagery there. And you can see them moving over the course of the day. We also integrate into Aurora the a line scanner, which is a thermal and SWIR line scanner, and you can sort of, the red yellow bits are where the fire actually is, the green bits are where it's cooling off a bit. And you can sort of
Mr. Adams?
Yep.
You have 2 minutes left.
That's fine, I'm gonna rip it through.
Okay.
And you can sort of see that goes through and that the mapping sort of matches. There was a wind change there that pushed the fire to the north that was outside the simulation timeframe. And you can actually see individual trees. This is actually done automatically, straight from the plane into the system. That is the Sentinel-2 fire scar that was done at the very end of the fire. And we've been looking at severity. There's a lot of interest in severity here. So with Yenni, I've come to the end. Thank you very much for having me. Thank
you so much. It's really impressive presentation. We can hear from you. The Firewatch program has been developed. You mentioned that, if I'm not mistakenly, put it right. The note here that from monitoring to predicting, yes, and from simple to professional. Yes, this is right. And by integrating all the spatial data sets from specifically from remote sensing, satellite images, and the wind and everything, and it comes up with a very kind of near real time product. And can be accessed to all the public. It's not inclusive, but it's really publicly available. So it's really, really impressive. We will hear more about it, and I believe, the participants have also a lot of questions to use. But hold on, let's moving on to our. Thank you. So let's move on to our next speaker. We have Dr. Nion Sirimongkonlertkun from Rajamangala University. She's Thai. She holds a doctorate degree in the field of natural resources and management, and also a master's degree in the field of spatial information system in engineering, and bachelor degree in the civil engineering. So I can see that she has really comprehensive skills here: spatial information, natural resources, and civil engineering. And so by that, she received some awards, including the National Innovation Award this year on social and environment. Smokewatch, the one that I believe she will present it today, share with us today. And she also received an outstanding research on monitoring system for burning and development of open burning network in Chiang Rai province through smartphone system, and also received the Thailand ICT Awards in 2016, and also the Ratnarajasuda Information Technology Awards. Dr. Nion, now the screen now is yours.
Yes, thank you so much. สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning from Thailand. Firstly, I would like to say thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here. I'll have 4 topics to present today. May I share my screen now?
Sure.
Yes, but I cannot.
Do you need our help? I believe the organizers.
Could you see?
Yes.
Okay.
It's now loading. Yes. And please make it a slideshow.
Okay. Just a moment, please.
It's okay.
Yes, but it's not move. Okay, everyone. Today I will present about the mobile application for file management operation. Today I prepare for 4 topics for presentation. The first, I will give you the overview of the foreign hotspot in Thailand and neighboring country in GMS country. I will also discuss the case of foreign. After that, I will focus on the file management, the use of mobile application, and finally, I will talk about the expansion and collaboration. Now, let's dive our first topic, the overview of file situation. This image shows about the file information from satellite data. We can see the file situation around the world. It is the file data on 26 April 20 and 2022. These 2 maps show the pattern of file hotspot in Lower Mekong country. Left picture, file hotspot in the past year to the 20 and 20, and on the left picture, the right picture, current file hotspot situation in this year. You can see the pattern of foreign hotspot on both maps are similar. Agriculture is one of the major sources of livelihood in Thailand. Economic drive is also one of causes that make farmers unable to afford to clear their land property. They just set a prescribed to clear their farm or the season for cleaning the land for the next crop. So we will see a lot of foreign hotspots in the northern of Thailand on drying season every year. Then if the foreign hotspot expand to the big wildfire, it means a big disaster for the human life. Okay. In Thailand, one forest fire from Department of National Park, Wildlife and Plant Conservation has to be responsible for the area of 800 hectares. The manpower is not sufficient at all to protect and monitor the area prone to fire. So to solve this problem, the government sector needs volunteer, community, and business sector. This question came across on my mind. How can we see the forest hotspot together? Not only the forest firefighter, not only the government sector. How we can access to the location of the forest hotspot, and how can we control or stop the fire by using the fire hotspot? And making decision with the location should be the first priority. Then we developed the innovation mobile application to monitor forest hotspot called SmokeWatch. It is a collaboration among various organizations. Initially, we mainly work with the forest fire officer, ranger, and volunteer. So far, we have expanded our collaboration to wider network, including civil society organization, school, kids, and youth. It is thus mobile application solution for hotspot monitoring and networking. This app visualizes the near real-time fire hotspot location from satellite observation data. The firefighter use the app to access the near real-time fire distribution. prioritize manpower, plan a route to fire location, and deploy the team to put out the fire. The app shows the overview map of fire hotspot location, description of the fire hotspot, statistics, a route to the fire hotspot. The apps allow the public to report the fire incident. Decision makers had firefighters have sufficiently information to access the situation through this app when the critical situation occurs. The provincial brings this app to the policy in the province, Chiang Rai province. The governor said this app is a one-tool for monitor the fire hotspot in the province. The leader of every district must download this app and monitor the fire from this app. If the fire hotspot shows in the district, the leader must report the situation in the live group. The provincial set the reward for the district who has a fire hotspot reduced. Moreover, the district set the reward to sub-district and the village who has the fire hotspot reduced, the burn scar or the burn area reduced also. This process is transferred to the technology to the community network. This is, for example, the report and work together with the local with the government and many sectors. This is one of the picture in the last year or so. After we use this app since 2019, we have noted minimum burn area or burn scar in the northern part of Thailand. It is reported by the Geographic, Geometric and Space Technology Department Agency. We call GSTAR. The forest firefighter community leader and civilians believe the Smoke Watch app has helped them to locate the fire, control the fire, and stop it. They believe that this app is significant for forest fire management. Not only the scientific innovation to help society to fire management operation, we also bring this innovation to the education system. We have created a Boost School project to educate school kids on importance of the forest and ecosystem, impact of the burning activity and the climate change. The Smoke Watch app has been introduced to the education and response activity in the school. Now, to address the transboundary issue, our collaboration is also expanding to neighboring countries such as Myanmar and Laos. Moreover, we need partners to expand this story to every corner of the world. Also, use of technology for fire monitoring should be adopted at the community level. Raising awareness and the bottom-up policy approach are also one of the keys of thicker air pollution problem. Educating kids years about the environment and ecosystem is very important as well as. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nion, for a comprehensive presentation. I noted here that she shared with us one of the apps, so-called Smoke Watch, a handy mobile app. These apps has helped not only the community, but also the policymakers. This technology or innovation has been also transferred to other countries and also educate the youth, if I'm not mistaken, got your point. And perhaps some of the participants, even myself, raised some questions. Probably might be interesting if we could hear more from her, the challenge she faced, by developing these apps or these technology innovations. What are the future directions to enhance the technology? But anyway, I believe the participants will have some question on it. Moving on to the next speaker, I would like to invite Mr. Aekkapol, Aekakkararungroj. I'm sorry, it's not really easy to pronounce your name. I'm really sorry because, you know, how would you like us to call you?
Just call me AJ. A-N-J.
AJ. Okay,
Yes.
Mr. AJ. Okay, AJ, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Let me read Mr. AJ profile. So he works for Asian Disaster Preparedness Center in Thailand. I believe ADPC.
Yes.
ADPC is not only working, you know, or monitor the Thailand, but also Asian in general, right? And he has this really interesting vision, exploiting the advancement of geospatial data science and technology to enhance environmental management processes, decision-making, modeling, and simulation of complex scale systems. But at the first time when I read his vision, a little bit intriguing me, but then I understand why, because he holds a master's degree in remote sensing and geographic information system, and also environmental science. So by then, he gained some scientific skills, including soil and water sampling, soil nutrients and water quality parameters, laboratory analysis, remote sensing classification technique, and global positioning system technology, and calculation of greenhouse gases emission. I believe he will discuss more about it in this talk. So AJ, it's your time now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Yenni. Sharing the screen. All right. There you go. PowerPoint.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. And next, full screen. Okay. All right. This is the episode number 2. All right. Followed up from Dr. Nion's presentation. Just now we heard about the smoke watch, right? To control, to manage the forest fire, right? And there was a spinning off project from her. This is her mastermind as well, from Dr. Nion's mobile application called Burn Check, which is the topic that I am speaking now. This is a part of the agricultural fire management. Okay, just now is the forest fire plus a little bit of the agriculture fire, but now we are focusing on the agricultural fire management. Okay, my name is AJ and working for the Asian Disaster Preparedness Center. My email is right there. In case in the future we will be partnering up. Okay, and let's start. I have 2 topics. The first one, I will talk about why we are here today, why we have built the Smoke Watch and the Burn Check application, the overview of the fire hotspots in the Southeast Asia. No, not Southeast Asia, lower Mekong countries, including all the 5 countries. And then from that challenge, we then developed the modern technology, the application. And I'm going to talk about the Burn Check in particular. Let's dive in. First of all, let's talk about the big picture of the fire situation. We can, from these 2 maps, we can, see the pattern of the fire hotspots. This is the 18 years of data from 2003 to 2020. From Jan to February, we can see a lot of dense fire hotspots in Cambodia, okay, and some part in Myanmar, okay, and then the pattern changes when it comes to March and April. It moved up to Laos and northern of Thailand and major part in Myanmar. All right, the red zones here. And if we look at the, hold on, please. Look at the trend. Okay. This is the trend, 18 years. The red one means it goes up the number of fire tends to get higher, right? And the blue one, it reduced. Again, January and February in Cambodia, the trend is up. See the red zone and the border between Thailand and Cambodia. The trend is lower. The number is going down. All right. And then moving to the right, March and April, I think many parts in lower Mekong region, the trend is higher. Okay, the red zone here. Some part of border between Thailand and Laos is getting better. Thailand and Myanmar getting better as well. And then last of the overview, looking those fire, we overlaid them on the MODIS land cover change. I would like you to focus here, the first table up here. Most of the fire, this is the ranking from the maximum fire hotspots until less fire hotspots. Most of them, the fire occurred in the forest, especially when there is a land cover change from forest to croplands. Here, you see the second rank. Okay, so here comes our effort to really, bring those fire in the agricultural area, no matter what it is, the agricultural land itself or agricultural land inside the forest area, okay, to bring it to the control. Talking about in the past, we have implemented, I think, more than 10 years. Thai government has tried, to implement the we call the zero burning period around 3 months during the. I need to go back during this, this period, the dry season. They have implemented like from 1st of February until the end of April, something like that, depending on the geographic area. Okay, depending on the crop type. And then the zero burning area, it did not work well. It's kind of top down approach. So farmers or those who are in need, who really need to clear the land, as Dr. Nion spoke, is the way of life. It's the livelihood. You cannot change those livelihood only by one season or top down project. Then we had the idea to control the burning. We allow them to burn, but not in the random fashion like before, but we will allow them to burn in an order, the way that we control. Okay, we will work with them, with the people who will have to burn. So we come here to the second topic, the introduction to the burn check application. Here just the brief overview of what we have done under the ADPC, my organization. We also have one project on the air quality. We have built the Geospatial Tool. You can access it from this link. This tool provides two functionalities. The first one, it can give you the forecasted PM2.5 concentration 3 days in advance at the 3 hours interval. It uses the GEOS5 model from NASA. Okay, and the other one is the fire hotspot location from firm's system, NASA as well. And then from that fire hotspot, it has been providing the data to smoke watch application. Dr. Nion just spoke it. And then look at the first one, the forecast PM2.5. This is one of the key data set to be used inside the burn check application. I will tell you how. Hold on. So let's come to the burn check. Thai government has the idea to try to bring in those farmers who have to burn, okay, into the system. There will not be any more the illegal burning. Okay, let's do it the right way. So we will try to get them to the system. So we will have the farmer registration page. We will have the schedule of the burning activities in the next 3 days, and there will be a decision making the back end decision making process going on inside the burn check application. And so and after the decision has been made, the application plus the decision of the authority, the first option is that we will try not to allow them to burn. Okay, that will be the last thing we would want to do. We will provide the alternative solution. For example, can you shift your burning schedule? So many people have registered and they will burn at the same day. And also that particular day, the PM2.5 concentration seems to be high according to the model, something like that. That is okay. Then the Thai government, led by the GISDA, the Space Agency of